You are live from the path.
Live from the path, maybe. What do you mean, maybe? They're most definitely listening.
I'm listening.
Holy cats, Dan!
What?
You're outrageous.
What? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? You're listening to Live from the Path on livefromthepath.org. Broadcasting every Monday night from 10 to midnight. Maybe. We're looking at national sponsors.
Or so.
Here. Wow. Might be picked up by the CNN. Or, you know, the headline news. I'm waiting for the contract to show up. I don't know if I believe him, but I met a guy downtown who had a backpack and 3 dogs, and he told me that he thought our show was fantastic.
That's awesome.
And it would go grade A on the cable news network.
And he works for CNN?
We said so.
The CNN.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like there's a high probability that story is accurate.
Yeah, Ben, you got to learn to trust people. You don't know.
I was on another nationally known radio program today, and they were talking about us.
What do you mean? Which one?
View from the Pew.
Oh, were you really?
I wasn't on it. I mean, I was just chatting on it.
Oh, you were.
Which means I was on it.
You participated.
I
was on it.
I may have slightly exaggerated, not purposefully.
Were they saying good things about us?
Yeah, they did. I'm thinking you're thinking of someone else, but they were nice.
Well, that's very cool. Well, that's all the more reason to be glad that you've landed on Live from the Path tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
Father Fry might be on right now, but I don't know where I did my laptop. I don't know. It's probably in my office.
Hey, well, it should be a pretty fun show tonight. The fellas from Sanctified are back in the studio. Hey, fellas.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
Now, here's Sanctified holds the record for having the most dudes in here at any given time.
Yeah.
They pack them in like slick sardines. But there's some sweet fellas, and they're here, and they're going to be sharing some tunes with us, telling about stuff they got coming up.
Did you say they're sweet fellas?
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Well, that's late 50s.
Is that awkward?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
A little bit.
Why? That's not unmanly.
I think
That's a masculine phase.
He said sweet.
That's what I say. Look, he's on it.
5 sweet dudes. Packing it in.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
This is why Dan's on the other show.
Exactly. They invited me. They offered me a contract.
So we're gonna hear from them. We're gonna get some tunes from them. Also, kind of a question that Mike and I have been talking about is has to do with talking to your children about hell.
About hell.
And I think
It's hot.
I think the question is like is a knowledgeable young child of hell the same as a kid that also knows that Santa Claus is not real? Like the thing where your kid probably knows something that other kids don't, or to the extent that they don't.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you the story a little bit later, but it has to do with my kid heading off to Vacation Bible School,
And a propane torch.
and she has an understanding, working knowledge of hell. She knows what it is. She knows how it operates. She knows how you get there, and I don't know if that's common knowledge for a
And
4-year-old girl.
That's yeah.
But
Yeah, I've been there and back.
But here's the thing: like, I can't say that I'm legitimately teaching her the Bible if I skip it. It's in there, right?
I think it is.
But I think the way that I started thinking about it is I think it's a root cause of a lot of our preschool up to youth getting out of youth, heading into college programs. Like we'll talk about it, but I think
they skip it in adult church too.
well, I think we're doing a disservice to people when they finally get out of school and they finally go to big man church, adult church, and then you start getting sermons on hell, and people are like, whoa.
Osteen had a really good one on hell the other.
I didn't know anything about this. This doesn't sound like the God that I know. So I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I think it's a decent thing to talk about, and maybe just check on what how you're relating the entire gospel to your kids. Are you soft coding some things that just shouldn't be soft coded, that you should probably just put out there and say, this is God. This is don't soft coat the character of God if that's what it is.
No, that's true. Like I'm reminded of Josiah when they're taking out the books of the law and stuff, and he's reading. They all gathered. It's not like they funneled the children into another area, and they got to
You
play
play with the blocks.
Yeah, the rocks and the I don't
flannel
know,
graph.
their own hair, right? And so,
Samson, we're out of hair. We need. No, you know what happened last time.
it's you know what happens to me in this heat. They call me the Frizz. All right, so they probably did call me Frizz.
They only call me the Frizz once.
Not to his face, yeah. Hey, look at that guy.
Until I hit him with a gate.
That was the part that didn't make the story. When they tied him up to the building just before he brought it down, they may have referred to him as the Frizz.
You know, I think people miss out on that too. Like, the Bible doesn't include everything that happened. We can assume that there were sarcastic comments made to Samson while he was tied to the pole of the temples. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine the jokes. They were probably kind of funny. You know, I don't know if we're gonna hash it here, but I mean, seriously, they're probably funny.
I'm sure they are.
I mean, it'd be a really long book if you put all the funny stuff, you know.
Well, Sanctified is back in the studio with us. It has been some time has passed since we've had them in here. Since then, everybody has gotten a fresh new car. I mean, they pulled up in Mercedes. Every one of them pulled up in a Mercedes Benz.
Life is good.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not worshiping Jesus right.
That
I feel like I
story's
need a new contract.
that story's 80% true. The part where I said they pulled up was accurate.
We actually were flew. Helicopter came down. Yeah.
Because if you were doing that well, someone would drop you off.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you're still driving yourself around, you're leasing the Mercedes.
Actually, it was one of these fellas that told me we were going to be on CNN downtown. Prosperity.
Okay, so fellas, so you've got a couple things coming up directly. Sanctified, by the way, you can find more information about them by going to Facebook and looking for Sanctified. If you go to our Live from the Path, facebook.com/Live from the Path, and you look at what we like Sanctified. And so if you want to find them, you can find them that way. So you guys got a couple of things, gigs coming up. You're going to the fair,
Yep.
right? I was now how many gigs at the fair?
We've got one gig at the fair. It's going to be on Saturday, the second to last day of the fair, which is going to be great. 1 o'clock.
That's a good day to go in because
Yeah.
people are piling it in.
Yeah. And it's at a perfect time, too. It's at 1 o'clock. So you get all the guys going in, families going in, getting food. They just got maybe their food, sitting down.
Yeah.
And then they hear us. And
Well,
hopefully they'll
last
come
year-
by and check us out.
Yeah, it was kind of fun last year because like people were like walking up with their little can of beer or glass of beer, and they're like sitting down. Oh, music, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going. Took about 10 minutes. They're like, wait a minute.
Never heard this kind of music.
They say Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh man, going back to the beer tent. You know?
This year we are in the
Yeah, we are actually.
Awesome.
There's no running from us this year.
Awesome.
We went
Well,
to
I brought my brother, and he had it was kind of fun. It was kind of a little covert action.
Nice.
He enjoyed it.
I'm
We saw you there. We
just going to interrupt real quick here, just so you know, for people to understand what you're saying, you do have to talk into a microphone, so we can't have a bunch of side conversations, fellas. Dan, don't talk to people without a microphone.
Sorry. I didn't realize.
Okay, yeah, we
all
got
right.
the state fair coming up
All right, big
in
plans for the
August 18th, and then before that we've got Spirit Midwest that we'll be playing on.
Sweet.
So we're excited about that again.
And on the Friday or the Saturday at Spirit Midwest.
we do not know yet.
Oh man, it's
do
up
not
for
know
it's
yet.
up for grabs.
It may be both
mystery.
days. Last year we played Friday, and then they called us back on Saturday.
That's right.
Now, do you want to play at the Live from the Past stage? Because we're going to have
Yes.
a booth.
We'd love to.
And I think we'll just set you up and let you go. We'll see what happens.
I think that sounds nice.
I think this is a good idea.
We're going to need more chairs. But you guys are totally invited to do this. I think this is going to really work out. You know what? We should just start our own festival within the festival. Like, they'll let us in. We'll get our stage set up. And
get
then
our
we'll
own
just have
t-shirts.
bands play at our own stage.
I love it.
We'll try to charge admission. We'll act like it's the VIP area. And then they'll be here 10 minutes and go, wait a minute.
I'm out of here.
At least give me chips.
What?
I don't know. That's why Dan's on the show.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right. Hey, well, I tell you what. Let's get right to the tunes. What are you guys gonna do first for us?
We're going to do a song called Driving Rain, and this was a song that Chris, our lead guitar player here, wrote. And really, I can let Chris talk about it. He probably could talk a little bit more about the song, but for me, really the song is about faith and, just about society and how society can bring us down. And really, we need the Lord to rise up. We need him there to help us rise up above. And set forth a message, be witnesses that we need to be. Do you want to add anything else, Chris?
Nope.
All right, so that's it.
It was well put.
So that's it. So this is called Driving Rain.
Okay,
I hope you guys like it.
You're watching Sanctified on Live from the Path with Driving Rain.
What's wrong with giving to the needy and the poor? What's wrong with living your life for the Lord? They'll try to beat you down, but you must first stand firm. One day the rain will clear, and it will be yours. Actions speak louder than words. Keep singing your song. Your voice will be heard one day. He will stop the driving rain. For 40 days and 40 nights against the storm. Don't give up the fight one day. He will stop the driving rain. Rise up from the street. Don't hang your head or give in to defeat. Oh, when the time comes and the rains begin to fall, will your flood waters rise? Will you heed your maker's call? Actions speak louder than words. Keep singing your song. Your voice will be heard one day. He will stop the driving rain. For 40 days and 40 nights against the storm. Don't give up the fight one day. He will stop the driving rain. Actions speak louder than words. Keep singing your song. Your voice will be heard one day. He will stop the driving rain. For 40 days and 40 nights against the storm. Don't give up the fight one day. He will stop the driving rain.
Oh man, that was Sanctified, Driving Rain, and the chat is digging it.
Here, hold
How
on.
could they not?
Hold on. Here's what I'm gonna
That's
say.
what I'm saying.
Here's what I'm gonna say about that. I like it when good singers are in here because then I can sing below them and then act like it's me. so he's like, they're driving rain. I'm like, rain.
You can say, yeah, did you hear me on Live in the Path last week? Yeah, that was me.
There was some imposter in here that was really belting it out. That was awesome. That was very, very cool.
Thank you.
Here's the
It's one
thing.
of our favorites.
Here's the thing that I've noticed about you guys is it's very easy to latch on to the songs that you play and like instantly like them. Like there's some bands like after about 5 or 6 times I'm like, I've changed my mind. I really love this song. Like I heard it the first time, I'm like, it tastes like feet. I can just I really don't like it.
I'm actually like that for most things. It usually takes me a while to get to like something. My wife can listen to something at the first time and she just likes it and she'll like it going forward. I have to listen to a thing probably 4 or 5 times. And then I realized that I actually really liked it. But if I don't listen to a song once, I'm likely to ditch it, and it could have been a really good song.
Yeah, I agree. I've done that multiple times, and I find it hard to do with you. I want nothing more than to just listen to your tunes and go, because you're clogging up my iPod with stuff, and then but it's just not the case. Like I really like them, and I hear them the first time, and I really dig them. So I don't know if that's an element of songwriting or just the I don't know, the charisma you have as a band, but that's a lot to say. Like it's hard to sell people first off, but I think that you've done that, so I think that's very cool.
I appreciate that. I think a lot of it really does have to do with the songwriting. I think Chris is just a phenomenal songwriter, but also 4 of us have been playing a long time together, and it hasn't been just till recently when we picked up a new drummer. And I think Chris has just really added a whole new dimension to our band, and I think he's just taken us to that next level, which is great. Yeah, the other Chris, the drummer Chris. The Chris we already have has taken us down, actually.
Right. It's been really a drag for a long time.
Yeah, now's a good time as any to tell you this is the last time.
The new CD.
We're only going to have one Chris, okay? The two Chris approach to progress from mediocrity. We've changed the name of the band to just one Chris.
Now, I'm going to pass the question on, and I don't have any feelings toward it one way or the other, all right? But the question from the chat was, what is with the hat? And since I'm assuming they're not talking about me, but I'm going to answer the question as if you were talking about me while you come up with an answer. So this hat I found on Garbage Day in Altoona. 3 years ago?
Yeah, and there was like 3 of them.
It's a good thing you saved it.
Yeah, so here's the deal. As we were driving around in the van, and there's some guy, not like Garbage Day, but like where you put out your junk on the side of the road. The spring cleanup. Okay,
I like to call it the best day ever.
Yeah.
Christmas.
So we got some guy put out a box of hats.
Christmas in the spring.
And this was in that box of hats, and it's a fitted hat.
Oh man.
And it says rodeo, but rodeo is not spelled correctly. It's spelled like road. And I thought, boy, that's
a mistake.
It's fitted and it's spelled like road. I can't beat that. And so I put it on, and I put it on kind of a joke to gross my wife out that I would put on a garbage hat. Even though I thought it was pretty cool, I was fine. But then I've really grown accustomed to it, and I wear it all the time.
I think it looks nice on you.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, now you go.
Explain your hat
and the glasses.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with the glasses.
Explain yourself.
And the glasses. The hat. There's really no story to it. I just like the style.
Did you buy that wholesale?
Here's the thing.
I've got like 10 of them.
If someone's going to ask you about your hat, I'm assuming that they don't like the style. So I think you're going to defend yourself.
So you buy them by the gross.
You're basically saying, here's the deal, I have bad taste. I think you're going to need more than that.
Or they do.
Yeah. Say, here's the deal, you have bad taste. That's better. You've taken the offensive.
He actually weaves those himself. No. Took a class in college.
Here's a
hat making.
I feel
Fedora building 101.
No wonder tuition's so high.
I made it out of 3 ripe potatoes.
Don't know why I can't find a job.
This economy is terrible. What's a hat weaver to do?
You want to buy my potato hat? Now that'll sell to the homeless. Protection in a meal.
But you could sell those at the fair when you're there later this year.
I could get a booth.
They go right up. Yeah.
Done.
Dude, I'll give you $3 to fry this hat.
So I've actually seen this before, but no one trusts a 2-for-1 band, right? Like I've seen a band go up, play a show, and they said, by the way, next to our CDs and T-shirts, I also sell Pampered Chef. So stop by. And I thought, you're not trustworthy as a musician. You know what I'm saying?
Just went down a notch.
Pampered Chef.
I would never buy 31 bags from a guy with a drum kit.
They hold all my sticks.
Actually, if he loaded up his drums in those 31 bags and put it away, I take that back. I totally would buy 31 bags. I don't know what that 31 bags are, by the way. I'm manly like that.
Incidentally, I know someone that sells them. It's something about.
I was say, is that like a term? 31 bags?
Yeah,
It's
a bag. It's a Christian company. It stands for Proverbs.
They all
30.
say that.
It's a Proverbs
I've
31.
never seen a mark. One of those. Yeah, never. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Where did you buy that pagan shirt from, Dan? Is Mr. J.C. Penney a Christian man?
He was.
He was.
They no longer are.
And then his son took over.
Then C.
But anyway, 31 is it's a bag company. It stands for Proverbs 31, and it is a Christian organization. And they I don't know, they make funky looking bags. They are funky looking, but they're pretty stout. My cat pees in them when I don't look, so the cat really likes them.
I don't know. That's a sign of a good piece of luggage.
Name one thing that your cat has peed on where you've been like, yes, I hated that. You know, like you're always like, oh no, the cat peed on it.
That's true.
De facto, the cat has good taste in stuff. You know,
It's how you know where your idols are.
That's right.
If I get upset because the cat took a whiz on it, there's idolatry in my house. Hey, you're listening to Live from the Past. Sanctified is in studio, hanging out with us. That was Driving Rain. I would send you to go pick up the album with that on it, but we have to do some finger shaking at the fellas. They haven't put together an album yet.
It's coming, though.
Yeah, no, it is coming. And you're right.
need-
You should do finger shaking because I think last time we were here, we did say we were in the process of putting together an album. But
Now nobody
quite a
listens to the
process.
show, so you're
Yeah.
all right there. It's-
yeah. Okay, well, okay.
Now,
I don't know about that.
do you guys need
So-
money? Do you need money?
No. Well, it's always good to have
need
money.
some money?
It's always good to money.
Dan has some.
Dan-
I am loaded.
Look how much money you saved on that shirt.
Ouch.
that's nice.
It looks like it was cast away from the Matrix front credit design.
It's my Tron.
Okay, get a load of it.
No, you don't really need to show that.
That is.
The people must enjoy it.
It's real.
Okay, so
yeah.
talk to me about this fake album that you don't have.
So
yet.
yeah, the fake album is not around.
It's
It's awesome.
Do you know what it's going to be called? Have you batted it around?
Sanctified.
Oh.
Sanctified. I don't know. We haven't talked about it.
Okay, now
the greatest hits. Yeah.
Actually, that'd be an awesome name for an album. It's like Sanctified. It's the best we could do. Just call it. It's the best we could do.
There's hope. There's hope. There's hope. Yeah. No, we haven't talked about an album name, but we did talk about really concentrating this fall. Now that we've got kind of our whole core set in place with the band, we really like to get something down, and I think we really like the direction we're going. We love the direction we're going. We've taken a lot of our originals and really enhanced them quite a bit. So we're really excited about that. So
I'm excited about it.
we want to put together both. Well, we've just recently talked about this, but an acoustic album too. So
I think that's the business.
yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Here's the thing: if you guys don't pump out an album in say 6 months, I'm gonna start selling your performances from the show as if it were your CD.
That sounds nice.
It's a low-level threat, and frankly, I'm going to ask Ben to probably put it together.
I don't even know if that's a threat. That
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea.
Actually, you just put us off for another 6 months, so thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's
No,
good.
we had
I'm
some
going
talk
to keep
about
all
this.
the profits. I'm certainly not going to share them
Oh,
with you. Yeah. But just something to think about.
I actually thought you were going to say you were just going to put it on an album under their name, like not using them at
Yeah,
all.
that would be worse. Okay, I'm going to sing your tunes,
Milli Vanilli?
and I'm going to be sanctified. No, I'm going to sing them straight up. You guys are going to sound terrible.
You'll be the guy at every one of their concerts. You'll be outside in your own little booth selling T-shirts. And, I got their CD.
We could spell it with a Y or something.
We're the hip sanctified.
Just emphasize the last syllable. Sanctified. Yeah.
I like that.
That's an
I
idea.
like that.
So we're in studio with Sanctified. Sanctified. You can find more information about them by going to Facebook. If you like what we like Sanctified. So go to facebook.com/live from the path, and you can check out Sanctified in our like category. Go like them. Keep you up to date about what they got going on. They got a gig coming up at the fair. That's the Saturday before the end. So I mean, don't wait. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but that's one day before the half price day. Why don't I just wait and go to the half price day? And let me put it this way: there's a reason there's half price. Okay, that cotton candy is the stuff they picked up off the floor.
Yeah.
They already gave away that Chevy. They're not. I mean, they gave it away already. You missed
done.
it. Okay.
The only people left on Half Price Day are Sanctified.
Yeah, that's who's playing the main stage.
Which is basically me and a banjo and 2 cats. And the cat peed on the banjo.
So that's what happens if you wait too long. Don't be cheap. Don't take your family to the cheap day. Go the day before. Sanctified will be there. They're going to be at 1 o'clock. They're playing at the Bud Tent. Miller Tent. Bud Tent.
Budweiser stage, actually.
Bud
Budweiser
stage.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not tent,
Not the tent. No, yeah.
Oh.
We're not playing in the beer tent. We'd probably make a lot of money doing that.
Hey, Mike, you want to get a gig at the beer tent?
You're darn right I do.
We need some broadcast equipment. So anyway, they're going to be at the fair. Make sure to check that out. They're also going to be at the Spirit Midwest Music Festival. Here's the lottery of the deal. They don't know what day they're going to be there. So it's either August 3rd or 4th. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Take off both days.
Yeah.
Okay. Bring out a camper. Head out to the Spirit Midwest Music Festival. You can find more information about that at spiritmidwest.com. And so just hang out for both days and hope they show up sometime.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to do.
That's the only reason we're going.
Yeah.
We're going to be there both days.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the live from the past stage, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about
that's
that.
definitely going to happen.
So you guys can make the time. I mean,
Yeah.
you
I
just let
don't
us
want to
know.
trump up how cool the stage is going to be because, I mean, we could totally laze this thing out and it turns out to be like a 55-gallon drum and a spotlight. But we'll see how it goes, you know?
Hey, so we got the kids' squirt guns, all right, yesterday, and I have a 2, which is almost 3, and I'd always made fun of that thing on the side of the bucket where it had the kid climbing in, because I'm like, what kind of kid is climbing in a bucket? Okay, so we got these squirt guns, and we filled the bucket with water for them to fill it up, so that you had to hold the squirt gun under the water and it would fill it up, and I look over, and sure enough, my 3-year-old has got her. She crawled right over, just like the kid in the bucket picture. And I thought, well, I'll be doggone. That's what that's there for. Poor parents. Let your kid climb in a bucket.
I feel the same way about the guy's arm getting cut off on the back of the mower sticker, you know? Where it's always some guy in like the most contorted position, his body's all turned around and one of his arms is flying. It's like, don't stick your hands by the blades, okay? And I don't know, those stickers are just, they really help me out through life, you know?
This, actually, it was, if you look at, in the building that I work in downtown, on the fire exit, there's a guy, there's a fire behind him, and then he's going down the stairwell, and he's kind of just, barely cruising. He's not running from this fire at all. And then I remember I went to Europe for a semester when I was in college, and like everybody that's on the fire warning signs is hightailing it out of there. I mean, they've got long hair flowing in the breeze. They're chucking down the thing.
Yeah, they're like at a 90 degree. They're like parallel with the ground. Like, I mean, hauling.
Europeans got a
As if
sense
the
of
building's on fire.
Yeah, like they're going. Isn't that just the way it is, though? Americans are lazily getting
Oh,
their
we'll
way
get
out of the
there.
fire. Europe's like, we got to go.
Here's the difference, right? It's probably a drill in an American standpoint, except for maybe in Chicago. But in London, I mean, they've had that place burned down. London has seen the fire, and they're saying, "Forget this noise."
Yeah, no doubt. Stay out of the elevator.
We're out of here, man. That was a reference to the Great Chicago Fire,
Yeah,
not
I
some
got-
kind of
I got
political
it.
hit.
I couldn't decide whether to laugh or not laugh. I sided with laugh.
It's hard
been
to
a while.
laugh.
I really enjoyed that joke about that big fire. It killed a bunch of people.
That was awesome.
You're a terrible person. Yeah, you're listening to Live from the Path. You can find us during the week at livefromthepath.org. You can sign up for the podcast, get the audio podcast from us on a weekly basis, so you can listen to all the hits kicked out by Sanctified. Also, you can go to our YouTube channel, find clips from the show. That's youtube.com/Live from the Path. Clips from today's show. And you can also find clips from other artists that have been in studio, including Ryan Paul Buck has been in here recently, Ryan Sheeler, the folks from Saved on Sunday were in here.
Yeah.
Lots of folks bopping in and out. So hit the YouTube channel, check that out. And since you're hanging out in the chat and you're being gracious and nice, we're gonna get you some more tunes. What else you guys got for us?
We're gonna slow it down a little bit. This next one's called "You Help Me," and it really is about that. It's really leaning on the Lord for help and guidance. So, hope you guys like it. Lord, grant me the strength when I'm feeling down. Help me find the shore when my soul's about to drown. And help me fight temptation. Deliver me from pain, for it's your salvation that I am trying to gain. You love me, please show me. You guide me, please help me. me, please show me, you guide me, please help me. I'm trying to not ask why, just accept that it's because, and know my Father is there to fill me with His love. But when I feel this way and darkness closes in, let me know you're by my side to help me battle sin. You love me, please show me, you guide me, please help me. You love me, please show me, you guide me, please help me. In my heart, just touch me with your hand and let me begin to heal. I know you've shown the way. It's my job to grab the rope, guide my hand with your love, and fill my soul with hope. You love me, please show me, you guide me, please help me. Show me, you guide me, please help me. Help me, you love me, please show me, you guide me, please help me. You love me, please show me, you guide me, please help me.
Yeah, sorry.
Another rave review with the chat.
I'm telling you, they're catchy. They're
They are.
catchy.
Absolutely.
I've got the words for that last one memorized. At least the chorus part. I'm not gonna sing it, Dan.
I was gonna do it. I thought, no, I won't embarrass you.
Forget it.
Because I've got your back.
Yeah, that was very cool.
That was you guys. That was Sanctified. You're listening to them on Live from the Path here at livefromthepath.org. That one will also be on the fake album.
Make believe.
The one that may come.
That's the B side. Yeah, that's the B side. Yeah.
Well, so now who wrote that tune? Yeah,
That's me.
fantastic.
You're a one-man hit factory.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
I'd do a high five, but you're way too far away.
Aaron.
Yeah. That looked way cooler on camera than it did in here. In here, it looked embarrassing. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was manly.
That was sweet.
That was as masculine as it gets right there.
Hey, man, see, the chat's singing it too. We're on it. Me and the chat are going to start a band.
Actually, that would be kind of entertaining.
Mike in the chat. I got the band name all ready to go.
Hey, all right, so Mike, so tell me a story about this about your daughter.
Okay, so my daughter is 4 years old, and she's heading to her first vacation Bible school. And it was a vacation Bible school in our town, you know, and for some reason we got to, I was driving her up there. It's her first night there. She was pretty excited. And for some reason, I don't know how we got talking about it, but we got talking about the crucifixion. and about the two other guys there. And the one that said, that's like, you really are Christ, and you don't deserve to be here. And he's like, I tell you what, you're coming with me. It's going to be great. And then my daughter said the other guy went to hell. I said, I don't know that for sure, but, it wasn't mentioned that he made it to heaven, and I said, what do you know about hell? And she goes, well, that's where you go if you don't listen to Jesus and don't believe that he can help you. And I'm like, that's pretty good. Okay. yeah, you're solid, And then I thought, now wait a minute. She's going to be in the preschool VBS class at this church that I don't go to, And I thought, I wonder if she's like the Santa Claus isn't real kid, like she's going to get there and no one has any information about hell. And then she's just going to start bombing it out there like, my dad says that hell exists and people who are bad go there and don't love Jesus.
Weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah, she's like, I think it's a fire ground. That's what I think. The ground is fire. I go, well, it's an accurate portrayal, I guess. I said, this is excellent. I'm beaming proudly that my child has paid attention to what the Bible stories we've been reading. And then I thought, oh crap, she's gonna be the fire and brimstone kid, And so I thought maybe I shouldn't have spilled the beans on this thing so fast, But then I don't know, like I started thinking about it, and I thought, I feel like we like our church programs on a whole, like the with the little kids, like if you're in a little kids church programming up to almost youth group, right? Like how many times can you go over Noah's Ark? Like. You got it. You got it by like age 7. You got it.
Like a big boat.
Jonah. Noah. You know a little bit about Samson. Just cream of the crop of David. We don't really get too far into David because he gets a little shady. You know that Solomon had a big temple.
Yeah. Wise. We don't talk about
wise. Solomon. Solomon was wise, except for those other parts. And so here's the thing. Like, is what I think happens, and I think this happened to me. Is I went through these things, and then I kind of got out of my faith for a little while, and then when I came back, it was like they were describing a God that I never knew. Like the God of consequences. I'm like, what? That's not the God that I was told of. A God of justice, also not a God that I knew or invested myself in. I invested that Jesus loved me and he would save me if I asked for it.
They always have happy endings.
Right, but what I realized is that I can't give authority to a God like the God that they painted. Like, I can give authority to the God that I read in the Bible. Authoritative justice, never-ending grace and never-ending love, and his justice goes just about as far as his grace goes. So you can accept that immeasurable grace, or you can feel the burden of immeasurable justice. And like, I can give authority to that God. Like, and I don't know, it's just because I grew up, or that's more my concept of God changed. But like, I don't know. And when I was talking to a guy a couple of weeks ago about God, he goes, "What makes your God different than all the other gods out there?" I said, "My God acts like a king. He doesn't put up with your namby-pamby business." He said, here's what I expect out of you. Here's the grace I will give to forgive you when you fall, but I rule. And all the other available gods are like, do what's best for you. Do what's good for yourself. Make yourself happy. And my God's not really like that. He acts like
if you're happy.
He acts like a king. He says, here's the rules. Follow them. I'll forgive you if you fail, but I need I need you to put me in a place of authority for the God that I am, right? And so I don't know, like I was trying to decide whether I was, whether I'd given my daughter too much information too fast, or whether, which I'm kind of siding more on is, equip them, give them the whole Bible. I mean, I'm probably going to tone down some of the adultery because she doesn't even understand marriage. I can tell the story as it happened. He wasn't good. He wasn't faithful to his wife. He didn't do the things that a daddy and a husband should have done. She can understand that without the rest of it. But I don't know. Like, I feel if you sidestep the heavier Bible issues, they'll get older and they'll attend church and they'll be turned off because they're like, either you lied to me my whole childhood and I don't know this God, or I don't even want to know this God because he sounds pretty harsh. Like these truths were never true to me.
Yes. You're both looking at me like I should say something.
Dan, it's a talk show. We do commentary.
Oh, well, but I was thinking of I have a similar story. When my daughter, who's now 22, was in preschool, she told some little girl, some friend there, "You're going to go to the devil," and her mom called us later that night saying, hey, what's this all about? My daughter's having nightmares, blah, 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 blah. And probably the one thing I regret is my wife's a little more softer, that, she's more like concerned, what if people don't like us? I'm like, well, so,
right.
There's other people, they can like them,
God put lots of people here.
Yeah, they can like their neighbors. And so we kind of had that, you maybe had to tone down how you present the information. And I kind of wish I never would have said that, as like, because as adults we kind of learn just to not talk about it at all, because someone might be offended or it might get uncomfortable or Uncle Billy might get mad or something, and it's like, man, when they're let them talk.
Was that the zinger?
That's it.
That was the zinger at the end?
I'm just saying, I don't disagree with your situation. I think it's don't discourage her.
Yeah,
but you teach her to communicate.
Well, here's the thing. Like, she's not old enough to understand God's grace, to its extent. She understands grace for her because she's a 4-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't understand. She doesn't even understand other people exist. You know what I'm saying? It's her and the way she operates. But I know that about her, and she's just a 4-year-old girl, And so, like, we talked about it, before she actually went. But I think it hashes out to 2 points. Like, watch the gospel that your kids are preaching and make sure it's a solid one. And if I don't know that she's going to do a whole lot of proselytizing, but she certainly she knows she can hold her own. She knows her Bible. We read her Bible. She knows her Bible, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with her knowing what hell is, knowing how to avoid it. I'm okay with those things.
Yeah. At their level.
At their level, it does creep me out a little bit that she's not hesitant to use the word hell in a regular conversation. She doesn't use it in a profanity type way, but she'll certainly bring it up if she thinks it's time to bring it up. Like, I think that behavior will, if not listening to Jesus, you will go to the fire ground hell. I said, I maybe I don't call those shots. Just love Jesus. You love Jesus. You just remember that Jesus saves you. Jesus does the saving. We're all junk. Jesus saves people. She goes, I got that part. I said, okay, fine. Well, that's all I can ask.
I think a lot of people don't understand some of the love involved in the hell concept, because what you're dealing with is people who spent their entire life choosing not to follow God, not to follow Christ, not to do what they've been asked to do. So God comes to them at the end of the life and says, okay, you don't want to be with me. That's fine. I'll live with your decision. I'll put you away from me. That is hell. And that is kind of an act of love in many ways. It's justice, but it's also love. He's not saying, you don't want me, and I'm going to force you to be with me for eternity. He's going to say, I'm going to listen to your decision. So a lot of people just bring this hell up as a punishment, but it is also, it's consequences, but it is kind of an act of love and God's respect for your decision.
Well, I wish you wouldn't do that.
I think, though, as soon as that decision, that act of love is made, it becomes punishment really quick.
Oh yeah, it does.
Wait a minute.
But it's both sides of the story.
I want back.
I was just kidding.
I didn't know.
That's a good point, though. To the extent that I don't know how many times I've tried to make my wishes known about something, and then when my wife actually holds up that particular end of the deal, I'm like, no, crap. I shouldn't have put it. No, that's not really what I wanted. I'd rather stay here tonight. Why are we home?
I don't want to go to the fire ground.
Oh man, that is awesome, though.
She's got a big mouth like her daddy, and I fear for her, like, because she takes what I tell her and she runs with it, right? So she's getting biblical truth. I don't cut it, dice it, make it anything what it ain't. But I think I'm just gonna have to pray for her and say, God, give her strength, because she'll pop it out of there. She's not afraid of the social consequences whatsoever.
This would be a good time to start doing the taekwondo.
I told her that not every, because we pray for people that I know don't know Christ. When we pray at night, and she goes, everybody knows Jesus. I said, well, honey, some people don't. They don't believe in him and don't believe he is who he says he is. And she goes, yes, they do.
How could they be so stupid?
I'm like, you're going to get in trouble at school. You're in big trouble. Everybody knows Jesus, Dad.
But what that is a testament to how you're raising your children. She lives in a world where Jesus is real. He's not a Bible character on a flannel graph or a.
That's true.
He's real, And it was like, well, everybody knows this because that's her world. And her world's going to expand, as she gets a little older and goes to school and finds people who don't believe in Jesus and reads the blog about a dude who's given 50 proofs.
Right, 50 proofs why God isn't real.
I forgot about that guy. We got another proof to get to tonight.
We do. That
was a segue for you.
I had one more thing. I was talking to the girls when I was putting them to bed a couple nights ago, and they said, I said we were praying, and I said, I thank you, God, for who gives us everything. And I said, Grace, she's 4. Who gives us everything? She goes, Jesus. And I said, Ella, who is 2. I said, Ella, who gives us everything? She goes, Miss Jeffus, who is Grace's preschool teacher. I thought, we need to spend more time with that one. I appreciate that you like Miss Jeffus, but we're going to need to talk more. That's my best story, sorry. Yeah. Miss Jeffus was the punchline. Cue the laughter. You're listening to Live from the Path. We're talking about Santa, hell, and children. The last.
Santa spelled backwards is Satan.
To sum it up.
That's pretty much what we're talking about. So the last comment in chat was no one goes to heaven by works; it is grace, and I think we focus on that. And I think you should. I think it's important to recognize, like, with your behavior, that it is not what you are doing that is impressing God. He is impressive. You are not impressive. It's His works that have otherwise gotten you to a place where you can be redeemed. However, I think what we miss, it's a character God thing, and a lot of our conversations come back to this too. Come back to taking in the full counsel of God's word, right? Like if He did not want His character revealed in some of those stories in that way, He wouldn't have inspired someone to write it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we need to be careful from a salvation standpoint. Yeah, grace. Definitely. Like, focus on grace. Frankly, you got nothing else to focus on, because, I mean, if you ignore grace, you don't have any other options. Yeah. You're out.
Why are we so afraid of works, though? Every time you talk about something like this, I mean, there's always the thing, well, we're saved by grace. Well, of course we're saved by grace. I mean, and we can't earn it, and that whole thing. But every time it talks about works in the New Testament, they're talking about the Old Testament law. I don't know anybody who's trying to run around and fulfill the law,
right,
and say, now I'm a Christian. It's like, maybe Jewish people, but they're not trying to be Christians. The scripture's so clear that with your faith come works. That it's a companion thing, and faith without works is dead. It's like one oar in the boat. You can't just have one without the other. You're just going to go in circles.
Yeah, I think people cringe, right? It's because they cringe when they hear works on both sides. They're like works. Yeah, they're like, it's not my works, and like,
true.
And that is true, But like they're so afraid of because I think because they're so afraid of they think the Holy that the grace is going to get lost,
or it's an excuse to be lazy.
Well, it's true.
I mean, it's like, hey, I said this little prayer. I'm good.
I'm saved by grace.
Catch you in heaven. I don't gotta go to that fire road. And it's like, you gotta engage.
I think
it's a relationship thing going.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 that I don't think you want to dump. You don't want to dump works altogether. You can't say you're saved by works because you know that you're not. Right. You know that you're not. But if you're
never good enough.
If you're seeing no works, then I would probably have to say that you're not letting the Holy Spirit do His job. You set a roadblock up somewhere.
And that's probably not what they mean. I don't know.
Well, right.
I'm not that just kind of hit it.
But I think some of the instant reaction is to be concerned that grace is being overshadowed. But largely, I don't know that we have that problem. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, there are certain segments of people trying to follow Christ that I think are doing it from a works perspective. But a lot of people that are just filling the time, they're not doing it like following Christ. They're just filling the time for another reason, for social reason, for familial reason, or whatever. Yeah. I don't know that broad spread we're trying to earn our way into heaven. I do think we would probably give ourselves a pass from an evaluative standpoint on works a lot more than we should. To the extent that we're not, just like the law, the Old Testament law exists to reveal our sin. Paul's moral guidance and the stuff that's provided in the New Testament and the stuff that Jesus talks about, they are revelations of your temperature. Like, am I Laodicea? Am I lukewarm? And the only way to know is to take that temperature, and you do that by being familiar with the Scriptures, recognizing what you would expect to see in the life of a person that's following Christ, and there's no way to know that unless, I mean, it's the result of that faith in Christ, and so. Agreed, saved by grace, but I mean, it should look like something. And I mean, if it didn't, the Bible would have been a lot shorter. But I mean, that's a big thermometer. And I think we got to take it seriously because, again, if God didn't want his character revealed in that way, if he didn't want us to be able to look at ourselves and be able, from an Old Testament law perspective, to see that our sin was revealed so that we know where we're at compared to how great God is, and secondarily to that, the all the stuff that's in the New Testament, Jesus' guidance, the stuff from Paul, all the letters to the churches, I mean, those are temperature takers. Where am I sitting? Am I being revealed in this as closer to Christ than I think I am? Or, am I being revealed as not living a faithful life in the way that he wants me to? So,
that's something about. Don't sit home on your grace and do nothing.
Put a book next to the John. You're listening to Live from the Path. We wandered away from kids and Santa and stuff. And
the show was pretty funny there for a while. Then we talked about grace.
By the way, you can you're watching, if you're watching the show, you're likely watching it at livefromthepath.org. You can catch us during the week at that same channel. Sign up for hit the youtube.com/livefromthepath. You can catch clips from the show, from Sanctified and from other artists. As a matter of fact, the clips from Sanctified from the last time they went are still hanging around there on the YouTube channel.
They're still garnering views.
That's right. People are checking it out, loving on it.
Yeah. Every time I think I should buy that album, I just go to the website and watch them again because they don't have one.
Free.
And then I get sidetracked on my own commentary. I'm like, boy, the music was good, but I was really funny that time. Boy, you were great. And then I critique Ben and Dan. Boy, that wasn't funny at all, Ben.
Well, I tell you what, let's keep it rolling with the tunes. Just a quick heads up. Here's what we got coming up in the second hour. Sanctified's going to hang around, so we'll get some more music from them in hour 2. We're going to give some advice in our Iron Sharpens Iron segment. People need help, Mike.
They don't want to call it Iron Sharpens Iron.
Iron Sharpens Iron. That's what it is. That's what we're going to call it. So people need some advice. They say, "Dear Life from the Path," and we're gonna give them some advice. Also, we're on week 6 of our GodIsImaginary.com proofs of the 50 proofs that God is imaginary. We've already talked through the first 5 weeks. We're on our first 5 proofs.
We're on 6 so far. The guy's not holding a lot of water.
No,
God seems pretty real to me.
Yeah.
But we'll give him another chance today.
Maybe 6 will be the killer.
Maybe it'll be the winner.
So we'll talk through that and go from there. So we're still in studio with Sanctified. What do you guys got for some more tunes?
This next song is called "My Heart Never Sang." I think we did this one last year, but this is our bluesy song, and we really have a lot of fun doing this song. So hope you guys enjoy it.
It's the bluesy one.
Bluesy.
I'm ready for the bluesy one.
Bluesy.
Fellas, wait.
Check.
Wait. Okay, start it over.
Mic check.
I mean, the beginning was really good, and I want to hear it again. Okay, bluesy number, go.
Got it. Came and saved me. Now he's the one that I adore. He reached right down and saved me. Now he's the one that I adore. He gave me a new song. Now my heart never sang like this before. I used to smile when I had riches, and I would cry when I was poor. that I bring. He changed the time, he changed the rhyme, he changed everything. Jesus came and saved me. Now he's the one that I adore. He gave me a new song. Now my heart never sang like this before. Devil heard me singing, so he come knocking at my door. You know the devil heard me singing, so he come knocking at my door. But now my new song sent him packing, so my heart can sing forevermore. Now Jesus made a promise, so I know just what's in store. He gave me his blood promise, so I know just what's in store. He said my new song lasts forever, so my heart can sing forevermore. Well, he changed the words I sing, the message that I bring. He changed the time, he changed the rhyme, he changed everything. Jesus came and saved me. Now he's the one that I adore. He gave me a new song, and my heart never sang like this before. He gave me a new song, and my heart never sang like this before.
Hey,
Hey, man.
I didn't expect that at the end. That was cool. I was glad I didn't do it with him. that was pretty cool.
You would have tanked it.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away, but I was actually me doing that. Did you see how I backed away from the mic? I took myself off camera. He went ahead and did the open mouth Batman thing, and then I kind of let it loose.
He said under his breath, "Take it, Ben."
I do appreciate that, man. I do appreciate that.
I like to help out. The Lord's blessed me, and I like to bless others.
You're right. You're right. You have so much.
That was very cool. That was very cool.
Thank you.
Oh man, so oops, I'm moving stuff around that I'm not supposed to. So prior to the band that you're in, anybody in a blues band? No, or you just picking up blues action for Jesus.
I can. Dale is the eye candy of the band, and he's probably been in most everything, I would say.
Dale, I've heard that you've been in a blues band. Is there any truth to that?
I have played some blues, yes.
I think you guys are just a little bit down because you don't have a CD.
Yeah,
That's not cool.
But bum.
Actually, so the last band that we harassed about not having a CD went and recorded one and sent us the tunes. This is a selfish endeavor we've done here. Hey,
It's about us.
Iron sharpens iron. Get a CD made.
don't make me send the cat to your place.
I like it.
vinyl sharpens vinyl.
Wait, are we one of the vinyls? Dale?
It's the best we could do. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Okay. Dear, ting ting, iron sharpens iron. Dear life from the past.
You know that's cool.
No, it
It's in the Bible.
Is it appropriate to visit a house you grew up in years ago and expect to be treated to a tour? Should one expect the current owners to accept you in and invite you into the house, which is now theirs? How is this handled? Go ahead, Ben.
Why? I'm a little curious as to how the question came up, I guess, but no, no, generally speaking, they do not have an obligation to let you tour their house.
You don't think there's a social obligation to let people
No.
come in the place?
I mean, it would be kind and generous, but like it is certainly not. It's not obligatory.
Man, what if their granddaddy built it? My granddaddy
well,
built this house.
then you should have stayed in it.
You should.
That actually happened to us a few years ago in the house we were living in. Hello.
There you go.
There you go. That actually happened to us in a house we were living in a few years ago. About a 50-year-old man drove up with his about 85-year-old mother,
Okay.
and he said, "My father built this house, and my mother would like to see it. Could we come in?"
Huh.
And what could you say?
Did you charge them?
You said no.
What could you say?
Yeah,
No or yes.
I did.
No options.
I did give her the senior citizen rate, though.
Oh, okay. So, well, your parents had no problem charging me to buy the house. So, I mean, just saying.
Yeah, really. You want to split the mortgage? You know.
No halvesies. You can come in anytime.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's
we're
like permission to be a squatter.
They just want to tour the place. What if your house is a mess? What if you left your unmentionables on the bed? I don't know. It seems like a. That seems like a not. I think the answer is no. Yeah, the answer's got to be no.
Well, I mean, here's I think from a Dale perspective, I think that was a good move. I mean, hey, my dad built it. I want to take a look around. I think that's fine. But I mean, the premise of the question was like, should you feel an obligation or like is it of good social standing to do so? And I say no. I mean, I don't have an opinion as to whether you do it or not.
I would tell them, here's the deal. I want you to be proud of the home you formerly lived in, so come back in 2 hours.
Yeah,
I have unmentionables on the bed.
So I actually had this almost the same thing happen to me. I bought a house and it was on foreclosure, and I bought it, and then I got it all done, and the people who foreclosed it wanted to. They're like, "Hey, we used to own this house." I'm like, "Okay."
There's
They
one
said,
window we didn't break.
Well, like I'd really like to come in and see it. And I said, okay. And so I let them in, and they like trashed it. They're like, "Oh, you went with that paint color?" I said, "Yeah, I live here." And they said, "What'd you do with my counters? They were brand new." I said, "Were they ugly when they were new?" Because my wife didn't like them. I
That's
chucked them.
awesome.
They're like, well, can I have them? I said, no, no.
I bought them.
Like, and the husband takes me aside. He goes, "Now listen, young man." I'm like, "Oh, this is fantastic." Of course, but now I'm beefing up at him. Now I'm priding up at the man. I'm like,
Pay your bills. I wouldn't
you
own
listen
this
here.
house.
He's like, "Let me tell you a couple things about this house. I wired this place myself." Okay, I'm an electrician, right? He did a terrible job, and so I'm sitting here trying to think of how I'm going to answer this question. I'm like, "Shut up, you love Jesus. Just let him talk. That's it. That's it." He's like, "Now I tried to get the house on the right breakers, and so things wouldn't go wrong." Yeah, so he has half the house on the same breaker as the refrigerator. So guess what? You turn on too many lights, the fridge goes out. That's handy. Thanks, man. He goes, "There's a trick to the main breaker when it trips. Also a good sign of high-quality electrical installation. The main breaker of the house trips on occasion." And he goes, "Every once in a while when the air conditioning, so I drain the condensate line, all the water that drips out of the air conditioner, I drain it into the crawl space, so I keep a bucket down there. And so you gotta pull that every once in a while." And I said, well, I had the house torn apart. I went ahead and put a drain pipe in. So then I don't have to crawl in the crawl space and drag a bucket out. But thanks for the heads up, fella. So I maybe I'm a little soured, but the answer's no.
No, it's like someone like buying a pair of jeans at a garage sale, and then the lady follows you home and goes, "Hey, I'd like to see how you fit in them. You put those on for me." That's what it's like. I mean, you gave them up.
Yeah.
You're done.
Okay. Let's dig on secular's advice. Okay, secular's advice is if one is smart, one does not expect anything from strangers because it suggests a feeling of entitlement. Chances of being allowed inside would be better if the homeowner was given some advance notice, like a short note explaining that you were raised in the home and asking if you could be admitted. That's how I'd handle it. Your thoughts?
Would that creep you out?
I think it would.
A little creepy. Well, I spent 7 years in Clear Lake, Iowa, elementary school, and while we were there, I was using my bow and arrow and was going to shoot it over the house, and shot instead into the porch window, which means it was really low. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, so broke a window. Okay, Dad was pretty happy about that, but we never fixed it. Okay, so we sold the house, moved back to Des Moines area. To this day, Okay, I was in elementary school. I'm a little older now. To this day, that window is still broken. Okay, so I will drive by there. Well, we'll go there like for the 4th of July. A lot of times we'll do the parade and then we'll take off for Clear Lake. And we'll drive by there, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go take my daughters into the house that won't fix a window that 40 years ago some kid shot an arrow through. Like, dude, it's a $12 window. I mean,
Yeah, really.
I mean, honestly, it's still broken. We put clear plastic on either side of it. My dad did, like, I'll fix this for you, and it held. It's still there.
Boy.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm afraid of what the inside
I think that's probably a good move. I'd hold off on it.
I just say, I used to live there.
Yeah, just drive by.
I broke that window. Yeah. Let's go on.
Daddy did that.
Don't you ever shoot an arrow at my house.
I don't know. Sanctified, any thoughts on this?
Anybody? Bueller.
Good thing you guys are rock the music,
We have no thoughts at all.
Your
That's-
talk CD would be lame.
Yeah.
We're not paid to think. We just sing.
To the comment of if somebody came by and asked to come in and because I think I'd probably let them. I don't know.
What if they made fun of your bedspread?
Well, then
So that's what you put in here?
Then I'd kick them out.
Yeah.
Getting them out is going to
That's
be
one
more
thing. The
awkward than not
bedspread-
letting them in.
Yeah, that you're right. But I guess from my standpoint, if there's some sentimental value, if it were me and I wanted to see my first house, if they let me in, I'd be gracious. So, I guess I try to think about it from what I would do.
What if they came in and said, "Hey, we gave birth to your Uncle Jimmy in this bathroom"? Wouldn't that weird you out?
Well, that's where Grandpa Al died.
Yeah.
For the people who came to our house, in a way, it was kind of neat because then, like you say about the window, he was downstairs in the back side of the family room, and he says, "Oh, I see just a little paint up there on the paneling yet." He says, "That's when I tried to spray paint my model." There is, and
That's an interesting story and not mean at all. See, why can't those people have owned the house,
yeah,
Those
but then
people are all right.
She explained why her husband made the tall ceilings and how he did the background and the landscaping and this and that, and it was kind of interesting, So I gained something from it. I kind of enjoyed it myself. So
I feel like your experience was different than mine.
Now,
just a little?
Al and Julie Barnes, who do Spirit Midwest, we bought their house 11 years ago. Okay, which is really kind of awkward when I kind of say, "Oh, hey, I live in your house." They were here, a year or two ago. They're like, "You're the ones." Now they're not happy that we tore out all of their rose bushes. Okay, every one of them, all 99 of them. 120. It was a lot, and she brings it up every time, so it's kind of a fun little thing. And so I would let them in, but they might not like.
No.
I mean, we didn't really change anything. We just painted and put different carpet in. But
And tore out the rose bushes.
the outside looks
You should have given
differently.
them back to her at least.
I should have. I don't know. All I knew is I had small children that were stepping on little thorns, and bees were chasing them, and I was like, "I'll take care of you, Daddy. I'll take care of you."
I was
Daddy's got your
I was just trying to think, like, looking at my house, what might someone say who used to live there before? And the only thing I could think that they might say is, "Hey man, what'd you do with those 3 satellite dishes we installed on the side of the house? How do you get mega cable?"
We'd like one of them back.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you used to hit your head on the second one? Because I totally did. Who needs to mow over there anyway? All right, go ahead, Mike. What else you got? Well, people need some more help.
Yeah, they do. Okay, here it is. Dear Life from the Path, my husband, John, and I have been married 12...
Is that in quotes?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay.
I wouldn't be afraid of a name like John, but my husband, John, and I have been married 12 years. My stepdaughter, Diana, who gave me my second mom card on Mother's Day, is being married on September. Diana is very close to her mother, Charlotte, who does not like me. Oh, boy. Because John and I are paying for half the wedding, we requested that my parents and Diana's stepbrother and stepsister be invited. Our request was denied. John and Charlotte will be taking part in the ceremony together, which is fine with me. Diana asked me to play a small role in the ceremony, but Charlotte became very upset, so I was excluded. The engagement announcement also made no mention of me. As things stand, I'm not sure where I will be seated, if I will be included in the photos, the reception line, the dance, whatever. Out of deference to Charlotte, the wedding seems to have been planned as if I don't exist. How do the other second wives in this situation make it through? I've tried hard to be supportive, Be quiet. Remember that birth parents take precedence, but being treated as if I don't exist is hard to swallow. The more I try to be understanding of Diana's position, the more I'm excluded, and the more I feel our relationship is being compromised. John and I discussed it and suggested that maybe it would be best if I didn't attend the wedding. He became very sad and said he really wants me there. How can I support John and stop all this from damaging my relationship with Diana? Your thoughts? Okay, did you ever get the roundup of the story?
Yeah.
Okay. A gal, there's a man has been married a second time. The stepmom, the daughter is getting married. The stepmom is having a hard time getting involved in the wedding because the birth mom, probably not a big fan of the stepmom at this point.
Here's the deal. The day belongs to Diana, not to anybody else. And whether it be the birth mom, the stepmom causing the grief, the day belongs to her. And if she wants to keep that relationship intact and probably actually have it flourish, she needs to be the bigger person here and just step back, stay away from it, cause absolutely no waves. If she can go and enjoy it on a very minimal level, that's great. But I think if she tries to force her hand too much, that will compromise the relationship far more than anything else. I think she just needs to remember this day is not about her. It's not about John. It's not about the birth mom. It's about the daughter. And let her enjoy her day and not worry about what the parents are going to be doing. Be a grown-up.
Stepmom bow out, huh? I feel like they're cowtailing to a bully. I think Charlotte's mom's a bully.
I think Charlotte is the bully. Charlotte is the mom.
Dang.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to the whole story.
Well, wait. So I mean, here's what I think. I completely agree, and I think even if Charlotte is a bully, I mean, what do you? That's between the mother and daughter. I most certainly wouldn't get in the middle of that, and I would say it's too bad that that the mom would be doing that on her day. But you are not the person to bring that up.
No,
like they're gonna have to. I mean, it sucks, but you're gonna have to deal with it separate. Someone else is gonna have to do it.
To fight that bully.
Yeah, and frankly, John probably needs to keep his mouth shut too. I don't think he's not gonna make any headway either.
John sounds like he just gets pulled around by a bunch of ladies and really has no stance of his own. You know what? Maybe I agree. Maybe that shows some maturity and some character to say, look, hon, it looks like my presence is going to be worse if I go. I'm going to do as you asked me to do, but I'm offering you with no hard feelings that I will abstain. If you think it'll make it easier for you, I would do that. You know, and I wouldn't be upset. And if you can really mean that, that's actually a pretty big thing to do. It'd probably be a load off the kid's mind. She's like, I don't know how to deal with you two older girls fighting. You know, this is not my place to referee between the two of you. So, yeah, I agree. That's a solid move. Solid move.
Dale, did you have thoughts?
Well, I was just going to say there's a good chance that it was not a surprise that the one mom would be that way, because quite often they don't change their stripes. They just get a little bit more bolder at times.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a lot of people would not be very surprised at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's dealing with several years of hurt. She points out she's only got her second Mother's Day card. You know, it's like, what does that have to do with the wedding at all? Nothing. I agree. The adults need to be adults. Get out of the way. Let the girl get married. It's a half-hour, 45-minute ceremony. She's going to do stuff that's going to damage a relationship for decades. Grow up. Be quiet. Let her have. Who am I to invite someone to my daughter's wedding? I mean, it's just her wedding. It's not mine. Yeah, I know. I'm the dad. I'm getting close. I have a daughter who's they're talking. You know, so it's not going to be too far around the corner.
What if she doesn't want me to go, Dan? Can you invite me?
I don't care. I could give her a rip if she invites you at all.
Dang it!
I'm going to encourage her not to. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell her if Mike's there, I'm not coming.
I give the best gifts. I really do.
Okay, you're in.
Let's broadcast from outside the wedding.
And she's walking down the aisle. Left foot.
Welcome to Live from the Path of Love In.
It's ridiculous, though. I mean, it tends to be a girl thing. The girls really get wound up on stuff. And I've done so many weddings, and I always tell the bride long before the mom ever shows up, I say, here's the deal. This is your day. No one's there to see me. No one's there to see your mom. You call the shots. And when mom comes in and starts barking, I'm going to look at you and say, what do you want? Just so they know ahead of time at the rehearsal, this is your day. And you need to tell me who the boss is, because I'm assuming it's you until I hear otherwise. And
you don't say that to the dude?
dude could care. He could care less.
What a bum.
He doesn't care.
That's how Tony Danza got in
Let's
that
get
position.
this thing over with.
Secular advice. Although you and your husband are paying for half the wedding, it's clear that Charlotte is running the show. I don't blame you for feeling hurt, however. You will do more damage to your relationship with Diana if you do not attend. I think you should go. First, to help your stepdaughter celebrate this important day in her life, and second, to inject a much-needed dose of reality into this fantasy.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's the time to do it.
Oh yeah, this is solid secular advice. Stick your big nose in there and really rub it in. Yeah, that's gonna go over well. I'm sure this confrontation is best suited for a wedding day. Fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's it. That's dear Live from the Path.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Life from the Path. If you need some advice, shoot us an email, info@livefromthepath.org, and we'd be more than happy to try to tackle your life
now listen,
problems.
it's much easier for us to help you if you include your name and address, and don't not a phony name. I mean, it's easier for us to say, hey, this guy lives at this house and he's got real problems.
Yeah.
That's right. Who is this John guy?
Wait, how can we really?
He's in quotes.
And how much you make annually?
Yeah.
That would be good to know. I have some preconceived notions about people, and I'd like to know which bucket you fit in. So if you just include that bit of information. Oh, you're listening to Live from the Path. All right, cool. Sanctified is in the studio. They've been helping us out with some advice. Let them in. I like it. Dale says let them in. Let them in. Let them take a look at the place. What do I care?
Until they say one negative thing.
I would.
Then they're out.
I call them the mentionables anyway. They might as well know I got them on. I like where you're coming from, Neil. All right, so we're in with Sanctified. They're working on a fake album that's hopefully come out sometime, whenever they get around to it. Whatever.
I think that's a good name for the album. The Fake Album.
I like it.
Now here's the deal: is I keep harping on this because it's highly anticipated.
It is.
I would love to hear it. And let's hear something else. What else you guys got on the docket?
That's part of the marketing ploy is to really kind of build that anticipation. I can tell you guys are excited. I really can. It's working.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna have to bury me in it. It's gonna show up right at my funeral.
I know, right?
You know, that's actually what Peter Frampton did until he came alive. Then all of a sudden it was like wham! Really worked for him. Stay off drugs. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
That's a good message.
That's a positive tone. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for interjecting that. Sorry, I was thinking of a cheesy Christian cover called the Lazarus Comes Alive album. Sorry. Okay, what else you guys got?
Wow. Yeah, actually, that was. It's all make-believe songs after that. Yeah. We just ad-lib words after that. Okay, so this next one is called Say You Always. That's one of our new ones. That's going to be on the Make-Believe album.
Okay, awesome. You're listening to Sanctified on Live from the Path.
When I'm feeling down, yeah, my world is blue. All I have to do, God, is turn to you. You got a certain something that I can't explain. You help me see the sunlight when all around is rain. Say you'll always be there. Say you'll always care. 'Cause I can do anything as long as you are there. Say you'll always be there. Say you'll always care. I can do anything as long as you are there. If I close my eyes, I can see your face.
All right, you're listening to Live from the Path here on livefromthepath.org. That was Sanctified. Another solid offering for the fake album. I'm excited. It was great.
High hopes.
It's fantastic. By the way, you can check them out if you go to Facebook and search for Sanctified. Them fellas are going to be out there hanging around. You can get updated statuses from them about gigs coming up. They're going to be at the Iowa State Fair on the 18th, and that's Saturday before the fair is over. Clear your calendar. Make sure you head out. They're going to be 1 o'clock at the Bud Stage. Also at the Spirit Midwest Music Festival. It's August 3rd and 4th, and or 3rd or 4th. Could be either one, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully both.
Yeah,
That'd
okay.
be great.
Might be both.
Julie, if you're listening, that's just a little FYI.
They're willing to do both. So anyway, you can catch them at the Spirit Midwest Music Festival. Go to spiritmidwest.com. You can find more information about the upcoming festival. It's going to be St. Charles this year. Make sure you secure a place to camp and maybe a vehicle to sleep in. We're going to be hanging out. We're going with a camper this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Last year I slept out on one of the couches on our broadcast stage, and it was kind of creepy.
It got a little rough, didn't it?
It was a little creepy.
It was a little wet.
It was wet and it was hot, and I also had to do. I was on security duty, and I caught a guy taking a whiz at like 3:30 in the morning, and he happened to be Pants, the guy from the show. It was kind of awkward.
It always is.
But actually, I was kind of glad to see some action, because I thought I'm going to wander the grounds for 2 hours. I got the 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. security shift at the festival. And I'm wandering around. I'm like, there's not going to be anything going on. And I thought, that's the exact thing that happens to every security guard doofus that gets, beat up because he's not paying attention. So then I'm stealth. I got my cell phone out. I got the light shining around. I'm like, I'm going to find out some baddies. They're going to be around this joint hanging at the Christian Music Festival. So anyway,
It turned out everything was okay, though.
except for I caught a guy peeing in the bushes.
Yeah, which is fine.
I think that's fine.
It's kind of legal, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Anyway, you're listening to Live from the Path, and that was Sanctified. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you go to that gig at the fair. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. If you can't make it to the festival, go to the one. You're going to be at the fair anyway. You might as well check them out.
And we're gonna broadcast, like Ben was saying, we're gonna broadcast the Spirit Midwest Music Festival. I don't know whether it's gonna be the day of or whether you're gonna get clips and cut or whatever, but and we're gonna grab their performance while we're there. So check that out. Make sure you go to the Live from the Path YouTube channel to catch clips of that show. They put on a very good live show, so I've heard. Dan said it was fantastic. I missed it last year.
It's good.
I was disappointed in myself. But it's going to be very cool. The Spirit Midwest Music Festival is just, chock full of awesome bands. People out there beating the streets for Jesus. There's a lot more local Christian talent than you think. Not only in our area here in Iowa, but everywhere. There's people out there writing worship tunes, writing you to God tunes, people to people tunes. Just Christ-centered, solid music. And go out and listen to them, and give them money. But start with the listen, and then if they just, if they're good, then give them money.
Buy their CD.
Yeah, not everybody that says Jesus gets money, but it doesn't hurt. So go out and check out the local Christian scene, and trust me, there's more than you think. Before we started this show, I didn't think there was any Christian bands in the state. I had no idea, and now we can't keep them out of the show. They keep showing up like a virus. That's a compliment, virus.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a good thing.
I attract viruses.
It's like a flesh-eating virus.
Yeah.
Hey, so are you guys getting out much? You got the stuff coming up. Have you had? What's been going on?
Yeah,
we haven't been here for a while.
We took some time off, just kind of getting things together, and then changed drummers, and really wanted to focus on getting Chris kind of attuned to our songs and kind of our style. And he really latched on really quickly, I think. It's been a great addition to the band.
Like a virus.
He is a virus.
Dale's kind of a parasite.
That's how
type
you
of
make
thing.
it in the radio business. You call people a virus. That's why we're so popular. 12 people agree.
Badly.
But yeah, we just getting ready for Spirit Midwest right now with our songs. We've played a few times at church, and just getting ready for our 2 upcoming gigs.
Cool.
And really want to focus on those and.
Awesome. I still want to have you guys.
And the album.
We gotta have it come out pathway sometime.
Oh, I'd love to.
That'd be
We'd
so
love
much
to.
fun.
We'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to.
Ooh, that's a great question. Chat wants to know how you came to the name.
Sanctified?
Yeah.
Sanctified. Actually, we were at. We were doing a men's retreat last year for our church, and we were talking about different names and what we kind of wanted to call ourselves, and we kind of looking through the Bible just at some names. We at one point were called Changing Directions, and we chose to change our name to Sanctified, and part of it is from Acts 26:18, which talks about turning those from evil to good, and I think the verse talks about being sanctified by faith, and I think that's really one of our songs is called Battle Cry, and really that verse too is our battle cry. We want to go out and do we want to play Christian music, Christian worship music for those that may not know God, and hopefully turn them from bad to good in a positive way. So that's kind of how we came up with the name, and just we liked it.
All right. Did you ever consider
this is a weird story.
Did you ever consider Jairus?
I got a tear.
Jairus?
Yeah.
That was actually in the running.
Second.
Yeah, I was in the running. Jairus.
Ben tried to name a cat Jairus once. Actually, Ben has a habit of naming his animals B character Bible names. Except for he had 3 cats at one time, and he didn't want to name them all Moses, so we referred to them as a group as Mosai. And so they traveled as the Mosai,
Traveling Mosai.
yeah. They died. They didn't live. They didn't make it near as long as Moses.
I don't know about that. I let them be.
They should have been like the sons of Issachar or something.
They crossed the waters, and I didn't see from them again. I was held back by fire. It was weird.
There was some crazy stuff going on at my place.
So one of them goes, Pharaoh. I couldn't figure out why they're calling me Meow Pharaoh.
One kept throwing the other one, turned it to a snake. That's right.
And one of them tried to sacrifice something to me and died directly. It's just what happens. So hey, you're listening live from the past. Sanctified is in the studio. So here's the deal: is we are going through a 50-week series, looking at GodIsImaginary.com. There are 50 proofs out here that God is imaginary. We are walking through them one by one, and I mean. Regardless of whether I start from the same premise as this guy, he obviously has what he's put together. He thinks God is not real based upon these 50 proofs. And if someone thinks about it, we should be able to provide honest answers to those types of questions and those types of thoughts. And so that's what we're doing. We are, oh man, there's a video on this here called Proving That the Bible is Repulsive. What number is that one?
I feel like he's a bit harsh on this thing.
Okay, here we go. So here we go. Last week we talked about, the premise of last week was read the Bible. Look at all these things that are culturally outrageous in our day, and I think we came to the conclusion that he's a prideful beast and assumes that everyone that came before him was dumb. All cultures that came prior to this one were obviously stupid, and we've evolved to something that is just really worth talking about. And so when you start from that premise, that's not a proof that the Bible is false. It's just a proof that you're pretty comfortable with where you're
you've
at.
bought a pretty tall stool and you like to sit on it.
Yeah. And that's ignoring the fact that he's also chosen to take pretty much everything that was part of his example were either out of context or not quoted correctly.
Right.
So anyway, that was his read the Bible. So now we're on number 6, which is ponder God's plan, which is interesting because this comes up quite a bit on the show here. So let's talk about proof number 6. Ponder God's plan. God's plan, in quotes, is the way that Christians traditionally explain things like amputations, cancer, hurricanes, and car accidents. You ever use that to explain a car accident?
I thought the hurricane was just a natural thing, but I didn't. I don't generally look back.
I once pulled out when I was 17 years old. I pulled out the car on a green light, and a geezer ran into me, and he basically ran a red light. And the first thing I thought was, the Lord was in this. So he's got me pegged. All right, here we go.
That's kind of a Michael W. Smith song, "The Hand of Providence." It's
Yeah.
oh, the hand.
I don't know that one, Mike.
I wish I had never heard it.
If that is a solid rendition of it,
I think that's pretty solid.
I think
that's pretty much what it is. It was the Amy Grant version. Here we go.
That's when he had curly hair.
God's plan is the way that Christians traditionally explain things like amputations, cancer, hurricanes, car accidents. For example, if a Christian dies a painful and tragic death because of cancer, she dies as part of God's plan. Her death has a purpose. God called her home for a reason. Even if something bad happens to a Christian, it is actually good because it is part of God's plan. You can see how pervasive God's plan is by looking in Christian inspirational literature. For example, if we look in the book A Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, we find this remarkable paragraph in chapter 2. Mike, this may put you against Rick Warren. We'll see. From a Purpose-Driven Life. We agree on shirts. Because God made you for a reason, he also decided when you would be born and how long you would live. He planned the days of your life in advance, choosing the exact time of your birth and death. The Bible says, you saw me before I was born and scheduled each day of my life before I began to breathe. Every day was recorded in your book. Psalm 139:16. Rick Warren says, regardless of the circumstances of your birth or who your parents are, God had a plan in creating you. Under this view of the universe, God plans everything. So very quickly, I'll see if I can summarize his digestion of this. It says, take a moment and think about what Rick Warren said. Rick said he planned the days of your life in advance, choosing the exact time of your birth and death. Let's examine one simple implication of this statement. What this means is that God has pre-planned every abortion that has taken place on our planet. If the concept of God's plan is true, you can first of all see that God wants us to be aborting children. Every single abortion is planned by God, so God must be doing it for a reason. Second, you can see that both the mother who requests the abortion and the doctor who performs are blameless. Since it is God who planned the abortion of the child, he chose the exact time of the death, according to Rick Warren. The mother and doctor are simply puppets who are fulfilling God's plan. The rest goes, Hitler is blameless. He was not evil because Hitler had no free will. He was born, his days were numbered, told by God as to do what he was going to do, and died how he was going to die. Every murderer is blameless because they are simply fulfilling God's plan. There it is. Proof number 6. God's plan.
What psalm did he
139, 16. So he's quoted it kind of correctly on Psalm 139, 16.
Well, the problem with Rick Warren is sometimes he doesn't quote them correctly. Having received his sermons for the 40 Days of Purpose several years ago, and I had to throw them out because it was like, dude, that's not what that verse says.
So here it is, Psalm 139:16. We'll go to the New International Version. It was, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be.
I don't know that purveys maybe. Okay, this is twofold, right? But like he's taking his information out of context from a guy who's interpreting the Bible, right? Like if you do a lot of Bible interpretation and you do a lot of sermon, you're going to miss some. And I think I'm going to have to disagree with him. I don't know that that's the case. I believe that from the full counsel of the Bible, like God knows what you're going to do, but you have free will to do it as you choose, just as you have free will to choose him and not choose him. And the consequences of sin are still mortal consequences, but are not eternal consequences when you accept his grace or not. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. I maybe we're just sticking on a Bible interpretation here, but like I don't know that verse says God says this is I've got your whole life planned out for you. He knows what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's not planned out like a robot as much as
right.
Yeah,
he might set
plan
things
or knowledge.
He might set things up for you. I mean, the Holy Spirit might might push you in a direction, or you might get some answers to prayers on where God would like you to be. But he obviously doesn't force you there. If he forced you there, then you would have to say that is a God that does not love everybody and ordains people to go to hell. And I don't know that the Bible supports that. Well, and so the reference verse to Psalm 139:16, when he says, all the days ordained for me were written in your book. I mean, this is David. This is a psalm of David. And I think we make this mistake. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about Jeremiah too. Here's what I think. I think Bible-believing people that follow Christ can disagree on this particular thing. But I don't know that it's true to say that God has a direct, like, consequential, eventful plan for everybody. He has provided, just as he provided general grace, he has provided general counsel through the Bible. I think it's true for Jeremiah to say, you knit me in my mother's womb for specific things. I think that's true. I think David can say the same thing. He was ordained as king. God had him picked out. I don't know. I mean, that is two, and you could pick out maybe 5-10 examples in the full counsel of the Bible that fits among millions of other people of which there's no record of that being the case. So, like I said, there are Bible-believing Christians that can agree, disagree on whether God specifically makes a plan for every individual's life. That's not what I think. But so in which case I would look at this and I say he's misrepresenting God's plan to the extent that it hits every individual in that way. I don't know that I would say that specifically.
I would also say he's misrepresenting the type of literature he's reading. I mean, this is a psalm. This is written as a song. I mean, this isn't, a work of theology or anything like that. Anybody nowadays, if you had listened to the radio, you would not take every song to be perfectly literal and every word meaning exactly what it is. Some of it's figurative. Some of it just has other meanings. So to say that those words are exactly, our English translation of the Hebrew that this came from is meaning that, he doesn't even understand what literature he's dealing with.
Yeah, he would actually have to think that Led Zeppelin has purchased a Stairway to Heaven for little to no money.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
and that's outrageous.
I know for a fact he did not do that.
I don't see Led Zeppelin is imaginary.com. So I agree. I think once again it's a full counsel, right? It's understanding your Bible and the language it was written in, and David is very poetic and very metaphorical, and really those are what they say, because I've read the Psalms before, right? And that sounded like words from your heart that form a picture to you in a relationship with the God that you love, and it's not an instruction manual or a literal interpretation of anything.
Yeah, I mean, God is omniscient. He transcends time. The point of a lot of these verses in the Bible, he knows your beginning, he knows your end. It's not that he's determining, okay, this is when I want you to end. He just knows when you end. He knows it. He knows when it's going to happen. He knows when my last breath will be. And it's not like he's waiting for that day so he can finally send that lightning.
Be rid of
down,
Dan. Take that off the big board.
Come on, Granny, step on the gas. I mean, it's not that way. But he knows it's going to happen. So for him to say, therefore, it's good for us to abort babies, which violates plenty of other scripture, murdering innocent blood and so forth, that would be incorrect.
This is a weird proof to me too, because it really, there's no scripture. The only scripture quoted here is quoting Rick Warren's use of scripture.
Yeah.
And so this may, if I were to take him at face value, okay, it may prove Rick Warren is a poor theologian, right? It may prove people misunderstand God's plan, but it certainly doesn't disprove God. I mean, I don't agree with actually either of those first two things to a full extent. But neither of those really are functional proofs for God as imaginary. You could prove a misuse of God's plan or a misunderstanding of God's word.
Well, but let me ask you this: I don't mean to pick on Rick Warren. That's not really what I'm after. But if I made the exact same statement, I would hope that you would ask me the same question, right? Like, do you think the interpretation is irresponsible? Because he's kind of, the guy has taken what Rick has written completely out of context. Now, granted, what Rick has written to a Christian means something different. Like, I would probably have read that without reading this proof, and I just glazed right over it. I'm like, okay, you're right. God knows.
Yeah, God knows it all.
God, and I would not have thought a second twice about it, right? But if that guy reads it and reads those words, he is following a fairly logical.
Yeah. So you tell me God wants me to have a bologna sandwich tomorrow? That's right. Just weird.
So I mean, is Rick Warren's statement irresponsible?
I wouldn't agree with it at face value. So, the direct quote from Purpose Driven Life was, he planned the days of your life in advance, choosing the exact time of your birth and death. I would say that he knew when those things were. Again, I don't know that I think it's universally true that God has ordained specific things in everybody's life.
Right, this is not a close-handed. You're back. This is not a close-handed, theological issue where it's worth going to the coals about.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think we agree.
The point of this psalm is just that God really knows me. If you read the whole psalm, God knows me. And he's asking God to search me and know me and see if there's any wicked way within me. You know everything about me. You know when I'm born, when I'm going to die. You know all this stuff. And it's a song, like you said. What?
This topic is. It's very ironic that this topic is going on, because the next song that we had planned on playing is a song called "Chose You," and it's about this very thing. Tim and I were talking one night after practice, and just about how, even though we do all of these bad things in our lives, we're not perfect. God is still saying, "I chose you. I know you. Okay, I know that you're going to do bad, and I know that you're going to do good." and still knowing all of those things about you. I chose you.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of interesting to listen to this conversation.
Well, we're going to diagram your sentences
Good luck with that.
and compare it, cross-reference with Scripture.
We already had Tim do that.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. You can just stop doing
Yeah,
that now.
he said that about Rick Warren too. Who sold more books than you guys have sold CDs?
Actually, we've sold more, but they were all fake.
Just got to keep that going.
I knew that.
Since it's make believe, we can tell you how many
I knew that fake CD would do well.
make believe.
We've sold
sold
14
millions.
billion 500 million.
All right, so I don't know. I think I'm willing to let this ponder God's plan go and call that not a solid proof.
I mean, he made a good argument. I mean, because you read, you're going, yeah, just at face value. Probably one of his best arguments he made, I thought.
So far, yeah.
But the thing is, he was making an argument about God, but about the nature of God, about how he knew you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that God was imaginary. You could have he was saying there's a terrible God.
Yeah, true.
You could have a terrible God.
Yeah, that's a
not
solid
like what
point.
the guy said he was, but that didn't say he's imaginary.
Yeah.
That's true. We had that same discussion last week because he was the proof was read your Bible. Look, God is a sexist. Well, I mean, he could be. I mean, he's not. But that doesn't prove that he doesn't exist. It could just mean that God is a sexist.
Just means you don't agree with him.
Yeah. So
This
from
guy.
his point, again, not a proof. I agree. So that was proof number 6. Next week we'll hit. Proof number 7 is understanding religious delusion. Proof number 7, understanding religious delusion. So
So it looks like Santa Claus makes a return into the discussion.
Yeah. He's back
Put
in
your
here.
kids to bed early next week. I'm tired of worrying about little kids destroying their holiday times.
See, here's the deal. I found myself going along with the Tooth Fairy this week, and we didn't do Santa. When we talked about Santa, we said, look, it's a cool story. It's a fun story. Let's read it during the holidays. He's just not a real guy. He's not evil. It's just a fun story, but he's not real. And so that's our Santa. And but I found myself going along with the Tooth Fairy this week, and I felt like a shyster.
I can't believe you sold Santa out for the Tooth Fairy.
I know. Oh man, we made a total.
Hey, you're cheap.
Check this out though. We made a total mistake on this Tooth Fairy. So she loses a tooth. I mean, we had to drag this tooth out of this kid. She's unwilling to give it up. So we finally got it peeled out of there, and she's excited. And she puts it under the pillow, and me and the wife totally biffed it. We totally forgot.
Oh, yeah, we've done that.
Okay, so first tooth. I mean, our first chance, and we biffed it. So she gets up and she's like, "What? The Tooth Fairy forgot me." So my wife pulls a fast one and convinces her that because her and her sister switched pillows, the Tooth Fairy thought it was the old pillow, and put money in it and got it straightened out, right? And so she holds on to the tooth, still has it because Tooth Fairy didn't take it. She just handed over the money. And she tries to sneak it under the pillow for a second night. Says, maybe I'll give the Tooth Fairy another shot. I'm like, the Tooth Fairy already left money, man. And they left it in the wrong spot. It doesn't mean they owe you another buck. Put the tooth up somewhere.
Your kid's shrewd.
I know.
I suppose if you're going to bilk money out of an imaginary being, you just will give it another shot.
But it didn't occur to me till we got halfway, till I was feeling bad about having forgot the thing. I thought, no, wait a minute, man. I totally took Santa out of the picture. Why am I going along with this fake fairy business? I couldn't believe it. I got suckered into the Tooth Fairy. I could be like, Daddy pays for teeth. That's creepy. Is that the deal? Is it just creepy? It's like, I'll give you $1 for that tooth. I'm gonna put it in a bowl.
Now, see, that's an innocent kid walking to school and be like, yeah, another kid goes, hey, I got a visit from the Tooth Fairy. Oh, my dad just buys my teeth. That's weird.
What did you do with them? He's got a necklace.
He glues them in the back. He's got openings.
He wholesales them to the Tooth Fairy.
So what does the Tooth Fairy give these days?
I did $1.
Yeah,
Is that nice?
they were giving $1 about 30 years ago.
Are you serious?
I got $1.
Mom gave me 50 cents. I really thought I'd up the ante, but really my mom was cheap. Bummer.
My kid got a $100 bill.
What?
No.
I'll give him a tooth now.
That's right. I'll take one out. Come to your
They
place.
did when they got braces.
I'm going to take a 6-week vacation. Hello, Tooth Fairy.
A little coupon, you free car wash.
There's gonna be a guy at your door in 2 weeks. Dan, you owe me $800.
So God is still real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So far we're 6. I mean, it's still plenty of opportunity, but
There's still 44 chances.
yeah. So we're 6 in, and God
Maybe
is
he'll
still
update his website with a new proof while we're doing this. That would really help.
I found 51.
honest faith, fierce grace, and sometimes Santa. That's funny.
Dang it. I hate it when people watch the show and then peg us like they know better. We're not fooling anybody with this thing.
So anyway, if you want to prepare, go to godisimaginary.com and you're looking for proof number 7, understanding religious delusion. We'll talk about that next week here on Life from the Path. If you want to check us out during the week, you go to lifefromthepath.org. You can sign up for the YouTube, or hit the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Life from the Path. Catch past clips from the show. If you want to catch the full show in its archive form, confusingly, it's another YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ThePathOnline, and our full video rendering the show.
You know why?
there.
Is because Life from the Path was already taken by us. You know what I'm saying? Like they started broadcasting it on YouTube, but we had already stolen the good name for the channel. So now we had to give them a second name for the channel, and it's not as cool as this one.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about it.
That's internal stuff. You guys really aren't interested
That's in the rocks.
I say I don't think I even know this stuff.
It's kind of
what
a
are you
bummer.
talking about?
It's, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a
I just show up.
Anyway, I have some more dirty laundry day here. Okay, and Sanctified, you can catch them on the Facebook. They're on the Facebook. If you go to the Life from the Path Facebook page, see what we like, because we like Sanctified, and you can go check them out. Me and Mike will be performing under the name Sanctified outside, not the Bud. We're not allowed on the Bud stage, so we're going to busk.
Yeah.
We're going to do open-air busking under the name Sanctified.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got a banjo and cats.
Hey, now seriously. Downtown, there was a couple guys busking. All right, this is the most awkward thing. Is you got a couple buskers, and the guy's playing the banjo, and he's pretty good, but he brought some kind of conga man, and I don't feel like him and his conga man practiced, because there's nothing more awkward than listening to a busker and hanging out with him, and all of a sudden they're disagreeing. So it's weird. So the guy's playing the banjo, twang, 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 and then the conga man comes in, and he's not good. Like, he's not doing a good job, and all of a sudden the banjo man stops and like hits the conga to try to show the guy the beat, plays it for him as an example, right? And then he starts playing again, and he's digging along, and then conga guy's playing, and he stinks. I mean, he's not playing it right, so the banjo guy stops, and so the banjo guy gives up, breaks out the didgeridoo. He's got like it's got to be a 6-foot didgeridoo he's playing.
The thing that goes wah,
Aboriginal, okay? So, and this I think, well, maybe this is because the conga man stinks, but the didgeridoo doesn't need a discernible beat.
Right.
So he's made a shrewd move and just gone with an instrument where you don't need a solid beat. And I thought, okay, that's clever.
I feel like you should tip the banjo man good money. He
I know.
seems pretty resourceful.
But then he gets a wah, 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 wah. He's doing it, right? And some other guy next to me thinks it's his stone stomach rumbling. If you can see him looking at himself. So wah, wah, wah.
You're surrounded by idiots.
It's what happens downtown. I got to get out of there. So anyway, then the conga man comes in, and didgeridoo guy cannot take it. Like, whatever this conga guy's doing is completely, like, misrepresenting his art. And so he tries to half didgeridoo and conga at the same time. And here's the deal. A didgeridoo is an instrument that you have to commit to. You can't half do it. It's like trying to play a pop bottle. Right? It doesn't happen that way. So he's like, it was a total mess. And it's awkward. It's like watching a married couple fight right next to you. That's what this operation is like. So here's the deal. If you see a banjo man that has a didgeridoo on his back, and there's looks like a low-rent conga man next to him, it's not worth hanging around. It's time to bail, because it's not going to go well.
Here, just real quick on that same subject. If you both have busker's license, like, do you own your own area, or like, could those guys not have been affiliated? Like, didgeridoo banjo man's a one-man show, and then conga dude just rolls up and starts to play, and like, does he have any legal ramifications to say, look, I'm busking here, you can't busk here?
No,
too?
you don't buy a space, you just buy a license to busk anywhere.
See, that's the problem. Now you're in league with conga man.
There's some very interesting buskers downtown. There's a Native American dude who plays, and he plays all kinds of tunes. He has a pretty large repertoire, and he just skirts around the skywalk. He doesn't go outside. I think it's a good idea. I wouldn't go. I mean, why go outside? It's climated air.
Yeah.
Inside. So he hits the skywalk. He makes pretty good money. And there's this group of Appalachian folk.
Now hold on a minute. Do you pass by him and say, "Excuse me, what's your nationality"?
No. I can kind of tell.
How do you know they're Appalachian?
Okay. All right. Here they're mountain people.
Okay. Odds are they're probably not watching due to their mountain ways.
They don't crank the internet on this late. So here we go. So three mountain boys. One of them was playing a banjo, the other one was playing a fiddle, and one guy's playing acoustic guitar. Here's how I know they're mountain folk. 1, nobody has a guitar strap. They use rope.
Okay, that's solid.
2, I was only watching for 15 minutes. 2 separate dudes rolled their own smokes.
They were in the skywalk?
No, they're outside.
Okay.
They're outside.
You can't roll your own smokes in the skywalk.
Beards. I mean, long beards. Okay, normal looking work pants, but have been cut, and it like not with scissors either. It looked like it's been cut with a knife, like a Bowie knife or something.
Right. Same knife they used to cut the rope guitar strap.
Yeah. Okay. Reason number 5: there were 3 raccoons hanging around him,
And they named them Jim, Jim, and Jimmy.
All right, but here's an interesting point. Do you think all of that is legit or is it an act?
No. They were legitimate mountain boys, Appalachians.
Okay.
That's their shtick.
Okay, here's the problem. Either they have a terrible marketing department.
They've got office jobs throughout the week.
You know what? You know what will get us the big money? Mountain.
So here's the deal. No social construct either. The guy that was rolling his own smoke. So like there's 3 guys. Hold on. Let's see if I can get myself a better angle. Okay. So here's your mountain boys. Okay. 3. Use right finger. Okay. 3 guys. Okay. The one of them wants to take a smoke break. Here's what he does. He just sits down. he just has a seat right. Like he doesn't go somewhere else and take a break or anything. He just sits down on the ground next to the other 2 Appalachian boys and rolls himself a smoke and smokes it, like looking up at the guys and petting the raccoon.
Those guys are good.
I feel like this raccoon's not a real part of the story.
I may have added that part for flavor. Everything else is true though. And they look pretty upset to be there. I think they might have. I don't know how they got there.
You think they might have been legitimately kidnapped from the mountains?
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, busking. We're gonna busk. You're listening to Live from the Path. We're in studio with Sanctified. Fellas, you got one more you can whip out for us?
Yeah.
I gave the finger unintentionally.
Yeah, I saw that.
The guy.
That's not the first or last time that's going to happen.
The guy was sitting down. I didn't anticipate it.
God knew you were going to do
That's
that.
not where my mind goes.
God planned your hand gesture.
He's like, don't look, Jesus.
Don't look, son. Don't look, son. Ben's going to let us down again.
You created him well. What do you guys got?
Sorry. All right.
Choose.
No, that's good.
The choice one.
Yeah, this next one's called Chose You.
Long and winding, with many twists and turns. No mistakes are ever made if lessons are always learned. I am watching over, pointing to what's right. My door is open, won't you step into the light? You washed your sins in the water, and now it's my cross to bear. And I chose you, and I know you from beginning to the end, and I see you, believe in you. You my son I stand, and I chose you. Right or wrong, you make your choices. I clean the slate for your salvation when you're waiting at heaven's gate. In my arms you find forever. Of this there is no doubt. In times of trouble, I'm your way out. You've washed your sins in the water, now it's my cross to bear. And I chose you, and I know you from beginning to the end. And I see you, believe in you, for you my son, I said. And I chose you, and I know you from beginning to the end. And I see you, believe in you, for you my son, I said. And I chose you. And I chose you, and I know you from beginning to the end. And I see you, believe in you, for you my son, I said. And I chose you, and I know you from beginning to the end. And I see you, believe in you, for you my son, I said. And I chose you.
Yeah.
All right, that was Sanctified. You are listening to Live from the Path. Them fellas are sounding sweet tonight.
Yes, they are.
And you'll be able to catch these clips on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Live from the Path. We'll get some clips of the show up, and you can check out those performances and many more by going to the YouTube channel. You can catch Sanctified coming up at the Iowa State Fair on August 18th, also at the Spirit Midwest Music Festival August 3rd or 4th, and 3rd and 4th. Spirit Midwest.
Somewhere there. So was somebody reading Ephesians 1 when this was getting written? This just has the flavor of Ephesians 1, Chris.
He's just accused you of reading Ephesians. Go.
Yes.
Maybe.
Is that the right answer?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. It just that'd be a good title for your CD. Ephesians 1.
Yes.
Actually, I was reading Rick Warren, and I decided.
It's totally based on just a conversation we were having one night,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure Tim has read that
Sure, somebody in the band's read it sometime.
and knows that much better than I.
Hey, Dan, don't ask him any more questions.
Oh, never mind.
That was a good question. Next, Dan.
What else you got?
Yeah.
So when are you going to be at Spirit Midwest? Yeah.
Do you read Ephesians? Don't ask me. I don't know.
I can't pronounce it. I don't read it.
I don't like that band.
What kind of Hindu is that?
Mine doesn't go that far. I got the free version from Salvation Army. It only has the first 5. You got to pay for the rest. So you've been listening to Live from the Path. We are here every Monday night from 10 to midnight at livefromthepath.org. Here's the deal, just a heads up. Starting in July, we'll probably be cutting the show down to 10 to 11.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to be packing in the same Live from the Path fun action, but we're going to do it in an hour's worth of time, which means you got to stay up and you got to listen through it.
Yeah. People will find it more palatable.
When are we doing that?
Starting July.
Yeah.
July. That's pretty soon.
It's coming right up.
That's
2
like this
hours.
year.
That's abrasive.
Wow.
It is. It's fierce. All right. So you've listened to Live from the Path. We will see you next Monday night. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful week.
Troubled waters and troubled times. Pick me up. just wanna raise you up for all the world to see. I just wanna take this light you give and shine it on. I never really thought how much I'd miss you. I thought I wanted living out on my own, but I miss your touch, Lord, I miss your whisper.